to episode 20 of my Warhammer Conquest opening, unboxing kind of thing, review. This week I'll be unsurprisingly reviewing issue 20. First things first, I'm going to get the plastic crack out. We've got the third instalment of the cargo container scenery set, which, according to the big video they did, according to the big picture, everything you collect, should be the last time we're getting these. Means we've got the complete set, which is nice. Means we've got 3 of these cargo containers, which I haven't painted, but, well, basically I haven't finished painting yet, but look roughly like this when they're built. And let's have a look, 9 barrels and 6 of each, 6 of each of the little Monitorum containers, which could contain ammo, could contain cheeseburgers, could contain pretty much anything. whatever your imagination dictates. As always, the quality of the plastics is great. A lot of detail. They're very easy to assemble, and you can assemble them either with the doors shut or the doors open. I tend to do the doors shut just because they're a little more stable and hard wearing that way. I may do the next one open, who knows. Right, now we've got the magazine. Ooh. Issue 20 of Warhammer Conquest. It's another neutral issue, meaning it's neither dictated that it's going to be Death Guard or Space Marines, but this one looks like it's mostly going to be, yep, this one is mostly Space Marines. Let's have a look. We're looking at page 1, the ubiquitous Ian there, signing it as usual. All your basic bits and pieces, your copyright, etc., and things like that. Sorry, just getting some of that in my eye. First page proper, we have successor chapters. These are successor chapters of the Ultramarines. We have the Fulminators. Amongst the first Primaris chapters created during the Ultima Founding, they were originally recruited in 1931, but lay in stasis for nearly 8,000 years. Nice. Awoken upon the return of the Primarch, they are a key component to the Dominus Crusade and fought in many battles. We've got the Black Consuls. The Black Consuls for the Codex with utter dedication and will accept no deviation from its texts. That's unfortunate. We've got those two. Then we've got the Eagle Warriors, one of the nicer colour schemes in my opinion. Eagle Warriors are founded during a period of anarchy and strife. They're a fleet-based chapter constantly on the move. Most of their campaigns have taken place on the star system that Robute Guilliman originally conquered during the Great Crusade. They lost many men to Noctis Eterna. Well. And then finally they're showing us the Nova Marines, which are one of the out of character, one of the older chapters. They've been the Nova Marine colour scheme has been around for quite a while. In story, long storied history, one of the most honoured successor chapters in the Imperium. They're greatly respected for their consistency and complete faith in the Codex Astartes, which is great until you realise that when Robute came back, he went, it's just more guidelines than actual rules, boys. Then we got some more pretty stuff. The Howling Griffins, another fantastic colour scheme. Coincidentally, also the colour scheme of Gryffindors from Harry Potter, leading to them being referred to repeatedly as the Howling Gryffindors. Apparently they're awesome at Quidditch. Involved in many brutal campaigns with a long history, including the Badab War, which is where the Tyrant of Badab and one of the most well-known non-original Chaos chapters came from. I say non-original, not out of the original 4, the Red Corsairs, who were, I believe, the Astral Claws before that. Yeah, but the Red Corsairs are a chapter of Space Marines that don't owe their allegiance to any of the original 11 traitor legions, they actually fell to chaos at a later point. So they're interesting. The Hawk Lords, who have a beautiful deep purple and gold colour scheme. We've got Castellans of the Rift, Premier Space Marine chapter founded during the Ultimate Founding. During the Indomitable Crusade, they battled renegade knights and other chaos forces in the area known as the Nachman Gauntlet, one of the very few stable routes through the Great Rift. So expect to see more of those, I guess, because they're in one of the tactically important areas. And then the Void Tridents, who are a new one to me. I haven't seen them before, but they seem to be blue and brass, which is very nice. Another Indominus one. The Void Tridents draw their crews from the ocean world of Talisar. They are great naval warriors who excel at ship-to-ship boarding actions. So, a bunch of chapters. Some of them are brand new to me, such as the Castellans of the Rift and the Void Tridents. I haven't seen those before. Some of them old classics like the Nova Marines, who've been around almost as long as the Space Marine box sets have been around. We've got Badges of Honour. Here it's going through some of the heraldry you see on Space Marines, such as the bullet you might see on them, which is the Marksman's Honour, or the Imperial Laurel. It's granted for acts of valour. The Codex demands that the company stand to be born into battle by proven warriors. There are almost always Space Marines who receive the Imperial Laurel. Sounds a bit like a Purple Heart or an Iron Cross. Do I mean Purple Heart, or do I mean Congressional Medal of Honor for the Americans? Yeah, that's it. Sounds a bit like that. The Congressional Medal of Honor the Americans have for Above and Beyond, or the Iron Cross that we have, or Victoria Cross, I think. So that's all cool. You've got service studs. These rivets are stamped into a current warrior sculpture record, 10, 50, or 100 years. That's an update from what they originally were. Originally, the first time I read it, it was one for every decade. The second time it was one for every 20 years. 10, 50 and 100 years is great. It shows that you're veteran warriors. Space Marines can live, well, it varies. I mean, 10,000 years is the oldest Space Marine I'm aware of, but that's obviously Bjorn the Fell-Handed, who spends most of his time hibernating. I know that they can live from 600 to 1,000 years, provided nothing bad's happened to them. So I'm wondering how many skulls you get for that. You've got the Prime Helix, the emblem of apothecaries. The Crux Terminatus, meaning you're trained in Terminator armour. Icon of Deathwatch, meaning you served in the Deathwatch, which is the Xenos-specific inquisitorial force. The Iron Skull, ancient badge, is the code insignia for a sergeant, so that's cool. You see that on the back of a lot of sergeants' gauntlets, or in the middle of a sergeant's helmet a lot of the time, and obviously the ever-loved purity seals. I'm not sure why they have quite so many purity seals. I'm guessing because they were made by the Adeptus Mechanicus. But these guys you would have thought would have been more adherent to the original Imperial Creed rather than the Imperial Faith. Next we've got one of the more interesting bits. It's going through the Codex Astartes, explaining to us what the Codex is, why it exists, and how it was created. Also, it gives a list. It points out that some chapters, such as the Space Wolves and the Black Templars, do not follow the Codex Astartes at all. You'll notice me occasionally calling it Astartes as opposed to Astartes or Astartes. I learned that mispronunciation when I was 8 years old from somebody else, and it stuck with me. I don't know why. There was 20 Space Marine legions, each founded by the Emperor. Yep, it gives you the Astartes chapters. Here are the original 20 Space Marine legions. With the original 10, sorry, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 legions originally fell, sorry. Getting the number on there. And we have obviously the 2 Imperial, all records expunged orders there. I always thought that they'd be the guys that came back as the sort of Primaris Marines. I always thought that camped on some world somewhere with 2 whole legions just waiting for shit to happen. That's why they got wiped out or something. But all the hints are something else, and then the Primaris turned up. So there's still no record of what happened. All we know is that the Primarchs were aware of them, and they got wiped out by Russ, which just goes to show how nasty Space Wolves are, that they're the Marines that the Emperor called on to kill other Marines. You know, he had Angron, he had, you know, loads of other quite nasty Marines. He had Lorgar, who had absolute faith, and still he sent the Space Wolves. So that's pretty cool. It also points out that most chapters, even if these ones, stick fairly rigidly to the Codex, although some just do what they like. Obviously not the Chaos ones. Then we've got the armor container here. Again, it's advising using elastic bands. I haven't found them necessary yet, but it's not a bad idea to use elastic bands. More instructions on how to build them and put them together, including the one bit I never do, which is put the weapons on, because I'm not sure why a cargo container that, for all we know, is full of fizzy drinks has 2 bolt guns on it. Also, they're the one bit on it that to me looks like it's just begging to snap off. Also, your basic instructions how to put that together. Yeah. How to paint your armor container. Again, this one, it's giving you yet another colour. I think the first one was green, the second one blue, and this one's red. That's advising you to use your big brush that you got last week to paint it red. And then, is it advising you use your big brush to paint it red? Let's have a look. I mean, that looks like the big brush to me. Then I'm assuming once the brush has been washed thoroughly and dried, it advises you to use the Bugman's Glow to dry brush it and give it a nice 3-dimensional effect. Dry brushing is cool. I've got a how to do dry brushing video on this channel if you're interested in how it works. It is a really simple technique. It also goes through how to paint the ammunition crates, and a good way of doing that. And also how to paint the barrels. There are more complicated ways of doing it, but these are nice, simple, basic ways that will get them tabletop ready really quickly. Duel of Champions is the name of the next little setup. This is still on the original. Is this the original? Yeah, this is on the still on the original mat you got with issue 1. They're not using issue 2 until they're not using the big mat until issue 2, which I believe is the next issue. You've got the setup there, and you've got Lord Felthius and his Tainted Gold cohort on 5 Plague Marines versus Lieutenant Calcius, Primaris Librarian, 2 Hellblasters and 3 Aggressors. So you're still using bits and pieces, but this one's primarily relying on that. The first time you're using all the scenery for some of this. This one is Corvon 2, which is the second battlefield, which is cool. Again, using the original battlefield, and you've got the 3 boxes there, and the stuff you can basically do. No additional rules in this one. It's just using the rules you know so far, which is fair enough. I don't think there are any additional rules you need for the stuff you've got. I think so far they've given you all the rules you need and all the stats and stuff like that. Next issue. Okay, we've got this new thing at the back telling you the next issue is using the new playmat you got a couple of issues ago. The Corvon 2 using the new battle mat, new terrain and new missions. You can see it's got some of the wrecked scenery there and some of the pipes there, so that's going to be cool. Conquest continues on Corvon 2, Shrouded Surface of Corvon 2, you face the Death Guard, so might be getting a bit more of an introduction to that new world there. And that looks really cool. And finally, the very back page, one of the pages I know a lot of you actually look forward to. You have got 3 Death Guard, and a rules reference sheet. Those things are always really, really good. It's one thing worth noting that, sorry, a little aside this one. It's one thing worth noting. Most of the money savings have been worked out based on the models, because that's what we knew we were getting. What they didn't do is add to the fact that you're effectively getting not the entire codex for Primaris and not the entire codex for the Death Guard, but you're getting all the rules for the units you're using, which is a lot of them at units in Death Guard, all the rules for the units you're using in Primaris, which is a lot, if not all of the units in Primaris, and all the basic rules and a lot of the background fluff. So you're actually kind of saving an additional, I think, is it 50 quid for the hardback rulebook, and let's say it's 25 quid for softback rulebooks-ish, and you'll get maybe at least 50% of a rulebook, maybe more, possibly a lot more. So that's 2 times 12.50 is 25. So that's the magazine is saving you an additional £75 on top of whatever's been worked out here for the models. I think it saves at 200 and something pound. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, you're getting a nifty rules reference. Those are actually really quite useful. It's worth never underestimating the rules references. The ability to quickly look up rules really helps keep a larger game going on smoothly. Grey Crusade Detailed Painting Guide. Play with more terrain for issue 20. Oh, sorry, no. Battle Guide for Corvon. Your Battle for Corvon 2 begins. The full core rules in that guide. And your biggest games yet. So that's what you're getting there. And on 22, you're getting Astro Granite Texture Basing. Improve your painting with a medium base brush. That, for the most part, is actually going to accelerate your painting rather than improve it, because it'll allow you to paint faster and quicker and do bigger areas, which is nice. The Astro Granite, I don't tend to use their texture paints myself, mostly because I have other methods that I prefer to use to make bases, and I tend to prefer to make them a little more complex at times. But it is actually a really awesome paint. It's a really awesome trick, and it's a quick way of basing a lot of your models. You may want to reserve it for characters to begin with, or just buy more, because one pot of Astro Granite is probably not going to do every model you've got, unless you spread it very thinly. When I'm using Astro Granite, I prefer to do it nice and thick so it actually looks like something. But that's up to you. And it says, where are we? 22, the Grey Crusade. So you'll be running through what the Grey Crusade is and what happened there. Detailed Painting Guide, obviously, and play with more terrain. It's not giving you more terrain, so I assume it just means play with all the terrain you've got. But, well, yeah, whatever. That should be cool. So that looks like another cool issue. You got 3 Primaris and the 3 Reavers. The 3 Reaver sets cost about £10. So issue 21 is going to be about a tenner, save you about a tenner. As did this issue. The box of 3 of these cost 30, so dividing it by 3, one sheet should in theory cost about a tenner. So this was going to be a tenner. This one's going to be slightly more, I would imagine, as the prices are going up a little bit. But those are about a £5, and the medium basing brushes are actually, I think they're about £4, so it might be about £9. So after this massive savings we had last week, the next few weeks are still significant savings. I mean, when you're talking 20%, 10% off of retail, it's nothing to actually look down your nose at. If you went into a shop and saw 20% off, you'd think, yeah, that's cool. But some of the issues are much, much cheaper. Right. Let me just grab something. I'm dropping the bases. Onto the prize winning section. There should be 4 bases, surely. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there should totally be 4 bases. Well, I've only got 3. I should have to locate another base. Onto the prize winning section. I have rolled the mighty dice and achieved a mighty 2. So I have got, the second one down is James W. Brown, spelled with an E. Congratulations, James. I'm going to drop a message in to the message you've got, asking for an email. giving you my email so you can email me postal address to post these bunnies to. But you've got about 25 quid's worth of models coming your way, mate. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This one's running a little long. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just tired and chatty. But yeah, have fun and see you next time. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Not sure why, but I am. So if you like it, see me there, and please tell your friends. Thanks very much. Bye.